Every day, smart, capable investors hit a wall. They've read the quarterly reports, analyzed the market cycles 1,000 times. They know exactly where the big money should be, right? The blue chips, the familiar tech giants, the safe bets everyone nods along with. But somehow the returns keep shrinking. The explosions that used to signal big wins feel distant, like a faded memory. And that pain flares up. What if the next huge surge is hiding somewhere nobody's looking? What if the next massive breakthrough isn't in the comfortable, well-trodden paths but tucked away in the smallest, barely visible corners no one dares to explore? This is the gut-wrenching dilemma. Watching your portfolio grow so slow, your edge blunted, your hunger unsated while so much opportunity slips under the radar. It's brutal when you realize the system is rigged to reward the crowd, the average, the easily understood. The mainstream market lulls you with its easy stories. Play it safe. Play it big, follow the trend. But here's the raw truth. Those avenues are overcrowded, over-optimized, and utterly exhausted. The game is no longer won in the glare of spotlight investments, but in the shadows where the rare, the misunderstood, and the unproven quietly grow. And the hardest part? No one teaches you how to see there. No one points at those tiny sparks quietly building the next revolution. Yet this isn't just about chasing random risk. It's about a strategic hunt for micro startups, the tiniest teams with wild ideas, crazy passion, and zero interest in fitting into someone else's template. These are the rebel creators who reject comfort, dodge consensus, and burn with fire so intense it can't be ignored once discovered. But how do you find them? How do you know which small flame will become a bonfire? That's where everything shifts. The biggest returns don't come from following the herd. They come from becoming obsessed with the edges. Look at the world today. It's built on illusions that keep most shackled. Nations, rules, institutions, they promise security but stifle creativity. This system is designed to filter out the unusual, the disruptive, the radical. It rewards mediocrity, punishes complexity, and hides incredible potential behind layers of noise and conformity. But progress, real progress, it doesn't push from the center. It bursts from the margins, where a handful are willing to burn everything down and rebuild. The micro startup is the perfect weapon in this fight. Small enough to move fast and dodge the system's traps, bold enough to rewrite rules on the fly, and connected by a relentless vision that no algorithm or big corporation can mimic. The problem is this. Most investors have become prisoners of safe patterns, following rulebooks that tell them which deals are worthy, which pitches are viable, and which sectors are hot. This walls off your sight from the raw innovation happening 100 miles away from your screen. You don't just miss chances. You lose the chance to be a change maker, to align with creators who embody the future. The reality is that brilliance is everywhere, but connection is rare. The world runs on networks, but the strongest, most explosive networks are invisible, unorganized, isolated. If you want to break out of the slow grind, if you want to ignite returns that shatter expectations, you need to find these edges and hook into these rare, fierce currents. Imagine a network not built on mass appeal or popularity contests, but on intense alignment, where investors link only with those who burn like them. Where founders who don't play by the rules meet capital who don't buy the hype. Where the ordinary is ignored and the extraordinary is the baseline. This is not a community where everyone tries to fit in. This is a movement of the few who refuse to accept anything less than their truest potential, who see through the lies the system whispers and pick the micro startups nobody else dares to touch. Because these micro startups are not just small companies. They are living, breathing acts of rebellion against stagnation, seeds of change defying the old orders. The power lies in the smallest details, the overlooked founder working out of a garage with a new take on AI, the tiny green tech startup tinkering with real sustainability, the micro team in a forgotten market that's about to explode. These are the sparks often snuffed out by conventional investors looking for immediate scale. But patience is a weapon here. Those who dare to play the long game, those who can spot the passion and potential under the raw, messy surface, those are the ones who win big. The biggest returns are never from rushing or following crowds. They come from being painfully selective, fiercely patient, and obsessed with transformation. And here's something too few say out loud. To catch these rare big returns, it's not enough to know startups or numbers. You must change your reality. The old playbook won't cut it. You have to question every assumption you've held about investing. Forget the easy path. Forget what everyone else calls safe. The future belongs to those who can see beyond markets and charts, those who understand that investing isn't a game of comfort, but a fight for liberation. It's about freeing yourself from the limits the system puts on your mind, stripping away the layers of noise, and connecting with founders who burn hotter than any stock symbol ever will. Most of the world will never understand this. They settle for slow growth and safe stories because it's easier. But you aren't here to settle. You're here because you feel a fire inside, a restless energy that tells you to break alignment with the mediocre, the typical, the polished and safe facade of investing. You want to find those few rare spots where micro startups aren't just businesses, but revolutions in waiting. You want to build networks, not ones that keep you chained to the past, but ones that tear down barriers and free the misaligned brilliance waiting to explode. This is about ruthless freedom. Your will to control your wealth, your time, your impact must be your weapon. Question everything you know about investing. Drop what you think you need to know about success and start anew. Seek out founders who don't want to belong, but to become. Align only with those who see the game the way you do. The game isn't to copy what's familiar, but to be unapologetically different, relentlessly bold, and relentlessly patient. The micro startup isn't a minor player. It's the front line of the new world, the spark that sets off a chain reaction that reshapes everything. Don't be fooled by quiet. Micro startups often fly under the radar, moving fast enough to keep the establishment guessing. Their returns aren't about glamour or hype, but about deep fundamental transformation. And transformation takes time. If you want to catch the next big boom, don't chase glossy reports or hype. Start hunting for those unseen, unfollowed, underestimated teams. Start linking with others who believe that the future belongs to the few, not the many. Build networks that honor contrast, that thrive on difference, that weave together isolated sparks into a wildfire. It's not about following trends or subscribing to temporary fads. It's about embodying a radical mindset, being sovereign over your decisions, ruthless with your focus, and patient with your timing. Big returns from micro startups don't happen by accident. They happen because you're willing to stand apart, to question, to align only with those who burn with the same unstoppable hunger, and to play the long game no one else dares to hold. Those who do this aren't chasing belonging, they're crafting becoming. They're not changing the world because the world needs change. They're changing the world because their power to become is unstoppable. So when the market feels stale, returns feel capped, and hope seems thin, remember this. The next massive win is not in the headlines or on your regular watch list. It's tucked in the wild, untamed spaces where micro startups live. The ones who refuse to fit in, the ones who question everything, the ones willing to burn to become something new. Find them, back them, connect with them, become part of that autonomous network that no one else even sees. Because your greatest power isn't in playing by the old rules, it's in smashing them and blazing a trail straight into what's next. The time to be patient, selective, and fierce is right now. The system forgot the exceptional, but you haven't. The few who burn brightest, who refuse to wait, who seek the unpolished truth. That's where the next fortune waits, quietly growing, ready for those who dare to grasp it. The path isn't easy. It never is. But it's real, and it's yours to take. Every moment you hesitate, the chance slips a little further away. Every second you lean in, you get closer to unlocking a future only the rare can see. The tiny startup is not just an investment. It's a revolution, a rebellion, a beacon of transformation that the system ignores because it's too busy counting the safe bets. This is the edge, the place that separates the average from the exceptional. The micro startup is the key. The next big return isn't a myth, it's a call. Will you answer it?